Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Happy Monday. Yeah, I said happy Monday. The reason it's a happy Monday is tomorrow's Tuesday, and that means it's election day, and after tomorrow, we won't have to hear all of those horrible commercials. You know what? I pretty much stopped watching TV. It's unwatchable because it doesn't matter what channel I go to. There they are. That all ends after tomorrow. Make sure you get out and vote. I don't know what else to say about it. I will say this. I think that everybody's planning on the Republicans keeping the Senate and the Democrats taking the House. And if they, I don't know. I don't care. And I do care. I shouldn't say I don't care. I do care. But it doesn't really change anything because, as I've said all along, right? Democrat, Republican, it doesn't. They all want to spend, right? Nobody. I still have yet to hear somebody running for any office, at least in this state, talking about cutting government. I haven't heard it. Everybody wants to spend somebody else's money. It's always easier that way, isn't it? Wouldn't it be great if I could just spend somebody else's money all the time? And of course, you know, the debt's almost, I mean, we're within $300 billion now of $22 trillion. And today starts a record. This week. It's going to be very interesting. I know we want to focus on the elections and who's going to win and who's going to lose. Record levels of debt that the United States needs to sell to continue to pretend that we've got the great economy going. We'll have to see. I'll keep you updated on those. I don't know. You know, obviously we know already. It's getting a little harder. We're still doing it. Let's not get crazy here, right? People are still buying it, but just not the way they used to. But tomorrow again is the election. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, we'll be able to stop hearing all of the commercials. But having said that, tomorrow is going to be a very interesting show. We are going to have a guest with us tomorrow that they are outside of us, outside of Patriot. They've been on the American Freedom Network longer than anybody. I mean, you start running out of fingers and toes. That's how long they've been around. We're going to have the Green Herb. They have been around, like I said, for a very, very, very long time. And they're going to be joining us. New Genesis Health, you know, because Colorado legalized weed and people got confused about Green Herb. But this is going to be, hey, if you're one of those people where modern medicine has failed you, and a lot of you know my story with my wife, she falls into that category. Tune in tomorrow. These are great, great people. They've supported Patriot Trading Group throughout all of the decades that we've been around. They're going to join us for about 15 minutes tomorrow. So for those of you, I mean, people, put it this way, people come from all over the country to see these people in Colorado. They have a great bunch of, I would call, and I don't know the right words to use, and I'm sure they'll tell us tomorrow, but homeopathic, natural medicines. They do blood work and do consultations and again and seemingly, you know, let's face it. How is it that millions and millions and millions and millions of people seemingly can't get help from the what I'll call the traditional doctors out there, and of course we don't have to talk about how crazy people get. Listen, they're slowly poisoning all of us to death. I mean, that's what comes along with, you know, not just the fertilizers, the pesticides, the chemicals that they put in our food, but you know they always hide. Well, it's just a little bit. Well, yeah, it's just a little bit, but a little bit, you know, decade after decade after decade equals a lot of it. So they're going to be on tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. Something a little different. Everyone's going to want to talk politics. I don't want to, so they're going to be joining us tomorrow, so get ready for that. Our toll-free number today, 800, well, every day, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com, and we've got this split market today. The Nasdaq's down because of Apple. Apple's having, I guess they're having a problem. They're not selling as many phones. That's the bad news. The good news is the phones they are selling cost a fortune. So they're worried about iPhone sales. Revenues are still good, but the amount of phones continues to fall. So the Nasdaq's down. The Dow's up 100 points. Gold and silver, they're just hanging out, relaxing. Sitting by the pool, drinking a little margarita, right? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? So they're just relaxing, I guess, waiting for the next major move. The Chinese were out today talking about trade and letting the rest of the world know, hey, we're going to be buyers if you want to be sellers. And then we'll talk General Motors, Ford, layoffs starting to pile up. I know everyone about the jobs number, but we got to tell you about the other side of it as well. Plus, we've got an item today, another estate. This was a smaller one, and lately we've been doing a lot of these. Well, a lot compared to what we normally did. We usually didn't do these types of things, but like I said, it's getting harder to get product. Got a great item today for all of you out there, so don't miss that. It's a small one. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a small one, so be ready to jump on it when we talk about it. And then the newest city that may need to file bankruptcy, 800-951-0592. These are the item that we're going to sell today, another estate. This is live in Phoenix. And so now you're kind of seeing, listen, we're buying estates in Phoenix and in Colorado. I will say this, tomorrow, for all of the Colorado people that ordered today, these will ship tomorrow. So you got one day. You got today. Again, I don't have very many. We've got 15. 1-5. That's it. That's all there is. It was a one-shot deal. These are, and we ran some of these, I think, last week. Maybe it was the week before. We ran proof 1-ounce American Gold Eagles. I was telling you last, remember, out of the mint, $1,540-some-odd dollars. I looked everywhere today. Everywhere. Nobody has these in stock. Prices that I found from who I consider to be, the cheap online guys. Proof Gold Eagles, $1,340 to $1,400, depending on the company, depending on the year, is what I've seen out there. $1,340 to $1,400, and most of them have been running about $1,475 to $1,485. But there's a couple a little cheaper. We're cheaper than all of them. At the same price we were. Remember now, gold's moved up. Gold's at the kind of the closer to the top of this trading range. Gold right now $1,332 or $1,232. I've got them at $1,325. But here's what's unique: all of these are 1986. 1986. For those of you that know your history, know that is the very first year that the mint started minting gold and silver again. So this is the first year in a series. Because there's a lot of people, I'm not into that, right? People like to collect, all the dates. And I know that it's a little easy, I should say it's a little cheaper to do in silver, right? I get a roll every year or whatever. And I'm not big into it, but I had no idea. When I started looking online, nobody has 1986. Why? Because it's the first year. We've got 15 of them. Think about this. The last time our country minted gold was 1933, which, of course, remember, they were all allegedly supposed to have gotten destroyed. There was only two known in existence. One, it was in the Smithsonian. The other, I think it was some Saudi prince had the other one. And then somebody miraculously found 9 more of them in Israel Swift was the guy's name. He was a coin dealer who had passed away, and his family members brought him out. They said they found these 9 1933 St. Gaudens coins, and obviously he had somebody from inside the mint sneak them out and put them away, and they actually turned them over to the Treasury. Why they would do that, who knows? So, of course, the Treasury said, hey, we're confiscating them. I don't know what exactly. I should find out. And my attention span isn't that big. I don't know. I know, and it may still be in the courts, whether or not they're going to be able to get them back. But, of course, the 1933 St. Gaudens, that was the last year the government minted gold. From 1933 to 1971, you couldn't even own gold in this country. Then after 71, you could. I always use that movie Lethal Weapon. It had Mel Gibson and Danny Glover and Joe Pesci. And that movie was made in 1983. And it involved gold. Gold was, there was a gold heist or something to that effect. And they were Krugerrands. And I was like, when was that movie? And I thought, it was 1983. We didn't even mint gold yet. So this is the first year of the series, 1986. The first time in, 53 years the government had minted gold. These were the very first proof gold eagles to hit the streets, if you will. And they're all here. They're sitting on the desk here in the studio. In the box, and inside the box, you open it up, and they got this blue felt holder with the little gold clasp, and you open the clasp, and on the insert, there's a little insert slip with the year and all the specs of the proof gold eagle. Then, obviously, the coin itself. And it's great. What makes it better is obviously the fact of what you're paying for it. $13.25, and this is how this is going to work. We want to continue to offer you the best products at the best prices. Right? What's our goal? Our goal is buy the most gold you can buy for the cheapest price possible and be able to stay private. These are actually considered a collectible from the government. So they're kind of like the pre-33s in that, yes, these are collectibles. This isn't considered bullion from the mint. $1,325. There's only 15 of them. They're here in Phoenix. So if you want to come down today, pick them up, you can. For those of you in Colorado, you have through today, until we're out. And then we're going to, whatever we need to ship to Colorado will be shipped. It'll leave here tomorrow. Probably get to Colorado, who knows with the mail and all that, but hopefully get to Colorado on Friday. And then Jason will start probably calling people on next Monday to come pick them up. 800-951-0592. That is the toll-free number if you've never ordered from us before. Maybe because, hey, I only want to buy coins like this. I will say this. Buying the estates, we do get a lot of coins we don't normally sell. Right? Over the years, I don't know, in 23 years, we've probably sold 500 to 1,000 of these, maybe. right? So we've sold them here and there, but not a normal course. This is what I would call, a lot of times in the industry, this is the rip-off coin, right? Because, hey, the U.S. Mint's $15.40. We'll sell it to you for $1,500, right? A lot of companies put these into people's IRAs and all that. Some charge the big commission. That's why you buy from us. We take, we don't do it every day, but when we have coins like this, we take the big commission out of it. If you've never ordered before, remember how it works. You call the 800 number. Today, Wendy's here today. She's just going to say, you just need to tell her when she answers the phone, just say, Wendy, I'd like the special. She's going to say one big thing. How many would you like? And you just tell her, 1, 2, 5, 10, right? She'll ask you how you're going to pay for it, where, if you want to pick up, or if we ship to you, and exchange information. You pay for it, and you either come get it, or we ship it to you, registered, insured, U.S. mail. It's that simple. How can you pay? Personal check. Probably, you know what? Anymore, it's about the most private way of doing it anymore. Personal check. If you want to come and pick it up and pay cash, you can do that. Remember, keep it under 10 G's. Keep it under 10. Otherwise, we got this pretty little form you got to fill out, and then I got to ask you questions. Right? Wendy's going to grill you. Are you a terrorist? Right? How did you get that money? All of those other things. And we take credit cards as well. Obviously, there is a credit card fee. You know the drill. Everybody wants their miles. We got to pay for those miles. If you want to put them on a credit card, add $25 onto that item at 800-951-0592. Now, I know last week, and I didn't have a chance to get to it, another state, and really this time another city, having a pension crisis. And this is something, listen, this is part of the wave. This is part of the debt wave. I know we want to pretend that we're not having one. I get it. Hey, everything's okay. I know I'm using the credit card every single day, every single week, every single month, and I'm only making the minimum payment. See, pensions are even worse. See, because the pensions are supposed to be putting all of this money that they're collecting from your employees into the fund. They don't. Why? Because they let themselves have a loophole, right? Governments always love loopholes, don't they? And, of course, what are the loopholes designed to do? They're designed to hide the truth from all of us. We've balanced the budget. How many of times have we heard that? The number one way cities and states balance their budget? They don't put the money in the pension fund. Why? Because it's the biggest source of money. Well, the latest now, New York City. I think they're still the biggest city in the United States. Faces a health care cost for its retired workers that now stands at $103 billion. By the way, that's gone up just a little bit. That's an increase of $40 billion just in the last decade. Ready for how much money they've got set aside? So they owe 103. 5. Yeah, don't worry. 5. The so-called other post-employment benefits liability was disclosed in New York's comprehensive annual financial report released by the city's comptroller last Wednesday. I wonder if they're running any of those ads in New York right now. I'm sure they're not. The city's $98 billion underfunded. It exceeds the city's $93 billion worth of bond debt. Wow. Oh, that's not the only part. That's just the health part. They're $48 billion underfunded and the rest of the pension. I don't even know how you do. So you're essentially, so think about New York. They've got $93 billion worth of debt. They need another, I got a quick math, another $143 billion just to pay the pension. Now here's the problem. The problem is the number is starting to spike. Oh, go figure. Right? And this is all, listen, this is really easy to understand. It doesn't matter. Well, you think, I'm picking on Illinois, now I'm picking on New York. Pick your city. It's not different. Phoenix isn't different. Denver isn't different. Dallas, Texas, well, we know they've already got big problems, right? They're not different. Everybody plays a different game of hide the debt. The numbers are huge. If you're looking at just the big three liabilities in New York City, excuse me, losing my voice, there is nothing, well, almost nothing set aside, and there's absolutely no strategy to do anything about it. They don't have the money. And, and we played this game. You know when you played kick the can as a kid? Do people still play that? I don't know. My kids never seemingly go outside anymore. Probably not. Eventually, what happens? You run out of road to kick it. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, presenting a daily conservative pro-family perspective since 1983 and continuing the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
I hope nobody listening to this program will forget that tomorrow is Election Day. Our country needs your vote. And if you have any friends who might forget or who have difficulty getting to the polls, call them and offer to drive them. So many issues that Americans care deeply about are up for grabs tomorrow. We have a chance to keep racking up victories for our nation and to hold back the insanity of those who wish to destroy our republic. President Trump warned us on the campaign trail that we were going to get tired of winning, but I, for one, haven't found my limit yet. His administration has mounted an often overlooked list of achievements, surpassing even President Ronald Reagan by this time in his presidency. As of October, it had been tallied that the administration had racked up 289 accomplishments in 18 categories. 2 Supreme Court seats filled with good justices, I might add. 4 million jobs added to our economy. 83% increase in arrests of those MS-13 gang members. Major tax cuts passed for individuals and for businesses. The hated NAFTA trade agreement has been renegotiated. North Korea has agreed to real peace talks. The president is accomplishing many of the things that detractors said were impossible in 2016. And all of these are wins that benefit all of America, not just Trump supporters or even the GOP. On the other side of the aisle, Democratic leadership has plunged into what can only be described as fury and desperation. Antifa and violent mobs now appear to be sanctioned arms of the Democrat Party. Even leaders in the Senate who used to operate with some decorum toward their Republican colleagues devolved into a frantic, mudslinging mess over Justice Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation. The hateful vitriol of the new Democratic left is not what Americans want leading this nation. Tomorrow's elections give us a chance to choose what kind of country we want America to be. Will we reward and send support for those who have put us first and solidified American families? Or will we allow chaos, confusion, and the desperate hatred of the mob to get a foothold in our elected government? Tomorrow, you must decide.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. Do you like what you see at the Trump White House? Will President Trump continue to advance conservative ideals? At phyllisschlafly.com, you gain complete access to Phyllis Schlafly Eagles news updates and commentaries and can track our work on Capitol Hill. Go online often to phyllisschlafly.com. And thanks for listening to the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. I was just reading this article. The CBO in all of their projections. For those of you that are having a child this year, maybe you had it already. For all of us soon to be, or for you grandparents out there, your great-grandparents out there, you parents out there, by the time a child is born this year, by the time they get to retirement, the national debt is going to be 600% larger than the debt, or than the GDP of the country. I don't know where the math shakes out on all of it. They've got these charts showing what GDP is going to do and what the debt's going to do. By the way, that's not the worst number. I didn't want to think about what the worst number is, but think about it this way. The long-term forecast, this is what they call the long-term forecast. By the way, that's 75 years, okay? I guess that's the retirement age if you're born this year, I don't know. Makes it clear that the current budgetary course must change dramatically. Listen, I've already told you they've already started. Here's what's next. Your Social Security, your Medicare, that's next. Right? First, they're going to start with, hey, no more COLA. Right? That's your cost of living increases. Then they're going to start chopping it. A little bit here, a little bit there. The trust fund, I guarantee you, will not make it to 2026. It won't. Not that there was anything in there to begin with. But they're saying that right now that the debt will be driven largely, they say, by the Ponzi scheme of Social Security and Medicare. It really doesn't matter. Again, remember how I started the show? Who's talking about less government? Who? Right? All they want to do is they want to spend all of this money differently. And then they're talking about handouts, and they're talking about universal basic income to try to keep people from rioting in the street. I don't know if you saw, by the way, Amazon, right? Amazon, right? It's the it company. They're going to hire 20,000 less. 20,000 less seasonal workers this year. Now, one guy came out and said because they got more robots. I don't know. But 20,000 less. I'm just saying. General Motors offering now, I think it's 18,000 workers. I didn't even know GM had that many workers left. 18,000 workers buyouts, saying that they've got to slow production, that they have too many employees, too many plants, as well as now they have stopped renovations on 2 plants. I think both of these plants are in Detroit. Well, Detroit and surrounding areas. They're halting the work on 2 renovation projects in the Detroit area, offering voluntary severance packages to 18,000 salaried North American workers. Not to be outdone, Ford says that they're going to start idling plants and laying off work. As a matter of fact, Ford had released October sales number. They were terrible. By the way, GM, the U.S.'s largest automaker, offered 6-month severance packages to 18,000 of its 50,000 salaried employees. Wow. That's almost 40% of them. How bad are they saying? How bad are sales going to get? Workers who have 12 years or more experience. That's the other thing that always kind of worried me. You know, when these companies announce these layoffs, they always go after what? The people that have been there the longest. Number one, because they make the most money. I get that part, but aren't those the ones that probably know how to do their job the best? Right? I'm just saying. If you get rid of everyone that actually knows how to do their job, I don't know. You end up back in the problem that they had in the past. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas. And I know everyone bragged, and they're still bragging about the jobs number from Friday and the big jobs number. Remember what I told you. If you combine the previous month and this month, it came in right at average. Because the month before was only 118,000. So it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't great. But here's what is kind of alarming. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas. And we haven't talked about these guys in a while because there hasn't been that many layoff announcements. Every month, they do what we call the pre-planned layoff announcements. In other words, if you're a big company and you're going to lay off, I think it's more than 50 people, you have to notify the government that you're doing it. And this is the company that tracks it. They said the reported number of job cuts rose 37% in October to 75,664, the highest level since July of 2015. Now, I don't know, but I would say that's probably not a good thing. By the way, they're saying that this could start affecting the unemployment rate. So far, the Bureau of Labor Statistics apparently didn't get these numbers because the unemployment rate didn't change. Verizon was the leader. General Motors will start offering buyouts. This wasn't in the number yet. And according to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, it's not 18,000. GM could be offering 38,000 people buyouts. They're looking to restructure. Ford looking to restructure, and over 70,000 jobs are being evaluated at Ford. Wow. I had no idea. I didn't actually read the whole article yet. They said Wells Fargo and Toys R Us was still part of that number as well. So far, retail, they've led the list with almost 100,000 layoff announcements just in retail. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Today, another estate sale. It's that good of an item. There's not that many. There's still 12 remaining. These are the Proof Gold Eagles box certs. We ran them, I think it was last week or the week before. But these ones are all the first year, 1986. Every one of them, 1986s in the blue box with the blue case, with the gold clasp, with the cert. I mean, it's the whole shebang. As far as I could tell, I could not find a cheaper price. I looked at the places that I know are, the online cheap guys. First of all, no one has 86. And then when they do have one, they're somewhere between $1,340 and $1,400. These are at $1,325. Tell you what, because I got to get rid of them. Here's the thing about these estate sales: I got to pay for them and I got to sell them. If you buy 5 or more, and there's only 12 left. If you buy 5 or more, $1,300, because I want them gone. 800-951-0592. Here was what was not on Challenger, Gray, and Christmas layoff mattress firm. David's Bridal. Now today, Lowe's just announced they're closing 51 stores in the U.S. and Canada, and I think there's a more in Canada than the U.S., but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. But boy, that was quick. Lowe's says the stores will be closed in the next 90 days. So I guess I'll get through Christmas and wind up with a bunch more big box stores. Yeah, so 20 stores in the U.S., 31 in Canada, including 2 plants. Stores in New York, Texas, and California are on the list from Lowe's as the job cuts in retail continue. How about this? This was a really interesting article. The middle class is disappearing from California. California made major news this month, reclaiming a valuable economic marker and surpassing Britain as the 5th largest economy in the world, all by itself. And they said that GDP of California stands at $2.7 trillion, which is just under 14% of the entire U.S. economy. Well, that sounds wonderful. The cost of living is skyrocketing in California. It is now the poorest state in the union. Now, this is from The Hill. This is who did the article. I mean, when you think poor states, you think like Mississippi. Apparently, they said that California, when you factor in cost of living, the poorest state in the union, 14% of Americans live below the poverty line on average. In California, that number now is 19%. So almost 1 in 5 live below the poverty line. They said California renters pay an average of $1,440 a month. God, it's incredible. I mean, rent used to be so cheap. The average is like $1,000. Here, $1,000 a month. I mean, this is Phoenix, right? We're a relatively cheap state. $1,000 a month gets you nothing. They said that more than 40% of Californians spent the majority of their income on rent. Median home values, $529,000. Wow. Electrical rates, which is another thing, that's one of the things, vote no on that. I think it's no. We don't want the California electrical plan. California says that the green initiatives, that rates have risen 500% since 2011. Wow. Incredible. So here it is, the largest economy in our country, and most people there live, right? The vast majority of people, well, more people, not the vast majority, it's only 20% of them live in poverty. No wonder why they're all leaving, right? You think about everybody. Why don't California, my Arizona, listen, all you California, you're welcome to be here. We don't want any of your big government crap here. If that's the case, well, then maybe you're not welcome. I don't know. But nonetheless, it makes it pretty clear why everyone's leaving. And what do? Right? You think about New York. You think about Chicago. You think about all of California. This is where a lot of people live. And they're broke. And the cost of living is outrageous. The taxes are outrageous. Now multiply that to the government. Where do you think we're going to end up? What, 25, 30% tax increases? Cutting Social Security and Medicare by 20 and 30 and 40%? Even all of those, and those numbers, I mean, those are ridiculous numbers. That's ridiculous. That still wouldn't even get us to where we need to be. 800-951-0592. Again, the market remains mixed. The Nasdaq's down about 80 to 90 points because of Apple. Apple is cutting cell phone shipments again. But remember, they're charging $1,000 a phone, so revenue's okay. The Dow's up 100 points, kind of what they did Friday. They're putting it back today. Everybody's waiting for the election tomorrow. Gold and silver are just kind of sitting it out. Just watching, waiting. Final segment coming up. I'll tell you what the Chinese president said about trade when we return. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment on this Monday. Thankfully, tomorrow is Election Day, and hopefully all of those commercials will be gone. We'll see what happens. I think, and again, I don't even know now. If you want to believe the polls, I guess the Republicans will keep the Senate but lose the House. And I guess if that happens, then it won't be too bad. Obviously, I think if the Democrats get them both, I guess that'll be viewed as bad news for Trump. If the Republicans retain both, obviously I think that would be a positive. We'll have to wait and see what happens after tomorrow. But in the meantime, the Chinese President Yi, was out there talking about trade, and he said each country should work hard to improve its own business environment, kind of taking a shot at the United States. One cannot always beautify oneself while criticizing others. And one can't shine a flashlight on other people without looking at oneself. Told its critics to mind your own business, and pledges that China is going to be a big buyer of stuff. Kind of saying, hey, the United States doesn't want to do business with us, that's fine. We're ready to do business with other countries. Very interesting statements out of this. I don't know that this gets better. And I think this is going to be a long process. This may go on for years. I think it will go on for years. I could be wrong. They could come to some agreement. Not likely. And again, I think the biggest thing is for China, they're a big country now. Right? We got to admit it. Right? They want to be the ones setting the rules, and they don't want to listen to what the U.S. says. And let's face it, all the things they've done, they're guilty. They've ripped us off. They've stolen our technology and all that other stuff. But our companies were the ones that let them do it. Why? Because they wanted a stock price. 800-951-0592. The first year of issuance, I don't know what else to say. I guess maybe these are items we don't buy. I don't know. 13 1/4 on the proof. 1 ounce gold eagle. They're all 1986s. Man, I thought these would be a home run. Buy 5 or more. $1,300. 800-951-0592. Gold's $12.32. Down about 80 cents. Hanging out there. Silver's down a little bit. Actually, this just happened. I just turned around. Silver's down 10 cents at $14.65. Our toll-free number again, 800-951-0592. Don't forget tomorrow. The Green Herb, New Genesis Health, is going to be joining us. They are, outside of us, the longest-running advertiser on KHNC in Colorado. People from all over the country go there. If modern medicine has failed you, and I know so many people that fall into this, here's another place. You got to keep looking. Eventually, you'll find the one that works for you. They'll be with us tomorrow. Everybody, take care. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we'll talk again tomorrow.